I mean, is Cooper Rush worth 2.5 points? I would hope Quinn Ewers put up a decent stat line against Arizona State. If he didn't, we have a real problem.
You can say the same thing about Creighton. Okay, they had the one good game against Kansas at home.
When Toast talks about the kicking market, it's like some earth is flat shit. Andy, true or false, this is going to be a dog walking.
Dog walking. This is my dog walking of the day. I think it's going to be very ugly. Dog walking. I think this is going to be ugly.
Hey, get the sauce.
I'm getting a yacht, basically.
What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday morning to you all. Hope you all had a nice Tuesday. I actually had a losing night. I went 1-3. That's the bad news. My one win, however, was a plus 168 money line, and I asked ChatGPT to summarize what went down at the Fog tonight, and this is what ChatGPT returned. This is ChatGPT, not me. Look at
all good.
Look how it's TV Jones. That's ChatGPT's recreation of TV Jones there.
Wearing what does that hat say? Chew Natty?
I don't know, dude. That's not me. Yeah, I hope you all.
That was like the one bad bet I placed today too. Everything else I was happy about.
You know what? My college basketball bets were fine. I lost that Villanova Providence under. Man, that was an awesome bet. I don't care that I lost that, and then I won.
I was gonna say, didn't it close with like 8 points value or something?
Yeah, and then I won Kansas money line. It was my NBA bets. That's the reason I had a losing night. Was the NBA.
If I wouldn't have got hooked with UConn, I would have had like a 3-unit day.
Spoon, how was your night?
I lost about a unit today. Not a terrible day or anything like that. It seemed like every lean I had hit, and I just watched all those cash and took a couple tough losses, but it's fine. It's been a great start to the year for me. I'm not sweating anything.
That was Virginia and Texas A&M for me.
So I glanced down to the comments. The first thing I see is Jones put on weight.
Hey, man, it's cold up here. It's winter, man.
Dude, I've been putting on some weight, too.
It's bulking season for TV Jones.
Fuck yeah, it is.
All right, so there's a lot of games to go through, a lot of good ones. If it's getting too late, you guys need to bounce, just let me know, and we'll skip to whatever games you can get out of here. So first game, let me open up and see who selected this monster of a game. And the winner is none other than Spoon, selected Virginia Commonwealth against Rhode Island.
All right, you got to get over VCU not being a good team.
No, VCU's cool. VCU is cool. Yeah, VCU's cool.
So this is a great buy low spot on VCU. We faded them the last couple of games versus St. Louis and George Mason. Phil Martelli, his first year as VCU's head coach, really a tough George Mason game there, a rivalry game on the road. And St. Louis is really good this year. So I think just taking 2 losses there is not a bad thing on your resume at all, but I think it does set us up for a good betting standpoint. And Rhode Island's coming off beating Davidson by 25 points. I think this is just a wonderful spot. I can't get the 4. I had to get the 4.5. I paid minus 102 for it.
You got VCU minus 4.5. TV Jones, Toast, any thoughts on this game?
Laid it with VCU also, the 4.5. I mean, like you said, they just beat Davidson by 25. You look at Davidson in that game, 12 of 19 from the line, 3 of 17 from 3, 12 of 26 inside the arc, 13 turnovers. And they got out rebounded by 7. So, I mean, they just got outplayed. Davidson's a better team than that. It just wasn't their day. But Rhode Island didn't play incredibly well either, but they just, happened to get Davidson on their worst day. So, back at home, VCU, back-to-back losses. I think they come in and run it up on them.
Doesn't this feel a little bit short to you guys? I mean,
they're on the road. This would be, 6.5, 7 at home at VCU?
I guess. I must have it wrong. I mean, I would think that VCU is at least 5.5 in this spot. I mean, Rhode Island's played nobody. VCU's been tested on the road.
Well, what would you think the line would be? It's usually a 2.5 point swing to a neutral, 2.5 point swing on the road. So if VCU's minus 4 here, that theoretically they would be about minus 9 at home.
Yeah.
Does that sound right? I'm asking.
I would say like 7.5.
Oh, if you're saying they're 7.5 at home, then this is actually.
KenPom makes it 5. I mean, Martovic makes it 2. I mean, it's just, I don't know.
Every single person that voted had voted ECU.
I know, that's what I'm saying. And it opened below the KenPom number. It's just weird to me. That's all. But I don't have a play on it, so it don't matter to me.
All right, let's head on to the next game, which is Iowa Purdue, and this is one I added to you guys. So whoever wants to take it, none of you guys selected this one. I just thought it was at Mackey. This is too cool of a game not to at least talk about.
Yeah, I just wanted to see what the number did, but I do think this is a decent spot to play on Iowa here. Purdue is one of the best teams in the country. I think they're one of the handful of teams that can actually win the national title this year. But that being said, don't really love laying big numbers with Purdue. Not that this is a gigantic number, but I do think that Iowa is in a little bit of kind of like a buy low situation, I guess. On the loss on the road to Minnesota, I guess since obviously Minnesota lost today. Shout out John Blackwell, TV Jones. I told you he's back. He's all the way back. Regardless of that.
Wait, is that who hit the game winner?
Yes.
That was who hit the game.
That was sick. Wisconsin game-winning 3. I actually watched it. That was awesome.
They're getting faded next game.
Yep, TV Jones is on full fade mode. It's like Brewers versus the Yankees situation. But we're not gonna preach on that.
Sitting there with a 2.5, watching that 3 go in at the buzzer. That was disgusting.
I bet. That hurts. But regardless, I do think that, and Minnesota has played really, really well at home. They've proven that they're not a bad team. Or I guess that's the easiest way to put it. And then they lose a home game to Illinois, which Illinois, again, obviously another really good basketball team, top 10 team in the country. KenPom has them 6, and Illinois just played really, really good in that game. But I mean, if we know that this Purdue team, it's not like they're going to get up and down and run a whole bunch of offensive plays and then having this game go up and down. I mean, we're going to see this game around 65, 66, 67 possessions, something like that. That's the type of game that Purdue wants to play. And newsflash to everybody, Iowa wants to play even slower than that. Iowa wants to play around the 60 possession number every time that they play. So I just have a hard time believing that either one of these teams is going to be able to get a huge lead because I don't think the possessions are going to be there. Iowa matches up with this team in every way, shape, or form, height-wise. I mean, Purdue's going to definitely have some experience, but I just don't understand how we're getting double digits here with this Iowa team that's, like I said, has been tested on the road multiple times this year, on the road at Iowa State, on the road at Michigan State, on the road at Minnesota. Those are big games, conference type of games, and now this is going to be their 4th conference game. I just don't think we should be getting 10 points here, so it would only be Iowa for me. I haven't bet it yet. I wanted to see what the number did, but if we start seeing 9.5s pop, I will be on the 10 with Iowa.
Based on what you're saying and based on this pace right here, super slow pace, both teams play great defense. 142.5 is kind of high, no?
Purdue #1 adjusted offense in the country.
Yeah,
but Iowa's
they're incredibly efficient.
Have they played a defense this good yet?
I mean, they played Auburn, they played Alabama, Texas Tech, Iowa State.
Wait, is Texas Tech? No, I think based on I was just looking at Texas Tech based on what this says. CBB.
Okay, Iowa's number 20. The next best defense that they have seen was the Iowa State defense at 5. Memphis and Texas Tech 33 and 34. So, yeah, I mean, this is the second best offense that they've seen. In the game that they played against Iowa State, they scored 58 points, Purdue.
Oh,
and
my God, this is an under.
That game was at home as well.
And then we scored 58 points.
Against Iowa State.
They couldn't hit water if they fell out of a boat that game.
I agree.
4 of 18 from 3, 6 of 14 at the line. I mean,
I think this is another situation, Sasha. If you were to play this under, it's probably going to close 139, 138, something like that. I bet you're going to be sitting on a pretty decent number.
Sign me up for that. 365 days out of 365. TV Jones, any thoughts here?
Yeah, I'm going to lay it with Purdue. I mean, we've seen Iowa hit the road. Michigan State, Minnesota, they played Iowa State. Iowa State they got jobbed on that one. A hell of an effort. They got jobbed. Should have won that game. But Michigan State beat them by 19, and then they go to Minnesota and lose. Follow that up with losing by 6 at home to Illinois. Now you're going to go play Purdue. Bennett Sturts, McCollum, Figueroas, all these guys are a bunch of mid-major guys who've never gone into a Mackey environment is crazy. Like that place gets rocking. I mean, they went to Michigan State and got housed. Now you got to go to Mackey, and Purdue's kind of been going through the motions a little bit as of late. I think this is a nice get-up spot for them. Come out, Iowa's got nobody to defend Jacobson or Clough down low. So, I mean, they're going to dominate the paint and the glass. I just don't think Iowa's going to be hitting all of their shots and hanging around this game. Second half, I think they kind of flare out. I think Purdue pulls away, wins this game by 14, 15 points.
So I guess it's up to Spoon because now one of us has the same pickup for this one. I'm betting this under, by the way.
I fully endorse that under here. Just typical. I'm going to be on the opposite side of TV Jones here. I'm not going to back Purdue laying points. I think Iowa has the better head coach right now. Purdue has a really good team on paper, but I think once you get into a really tough game, Matt Painter just lacks the ability to make any halftime adjustments. It's shown its head year after year. I think this is a little bit of a sleepy spot right before you hit the road to the West Coast. I could see Iowa actually being live on the money line here. I might get on this game.
That is a hot take, Spoon. That is a major hot take. Good
so
for you.
This graphic says 141. I just bet under 142.5. That's what I actually took.
You truly believe that?
That it goes under, yes.
He lost to FDU in Columbus. I was in the building that night. Like maybe that weighs.
I get it. I mean, we're talking about a guy that's been coaching in the Big Ten for what, 15, 20 years, and against a guy that's had a head coaching job for
a terrible. Like out of the Power 4 conferences, where would you list the Big Ten for basketball? Would you put it in the 1, the 2?
Okay.
Like over the past 10, 15 years? No. It's at the bottom.
McCollum hasn't
he built a team just to beat up on the Big Ten. The Big Ten basketball is gross.
What? I love the Big Ten.
Mm-hmm. I'm with Kyle.
So Ben McCollum's coached 16 games in a Power 5 conference.
So Toast, you selected this one, and I know you're kind of big on Auburn, but I think Missouri's the move here, right?
Why is that?
Because I'm looking at their CBB analytics page, and they're a stronger team, and they're at home, and Auburn's not as good on the road.
Stronger team. Interesting.
Net rating, 84th percentile to 79th. Offensively, Auburn's slight edge. Auburn's defense is piss.
Well, yeah, it's pissed because they play teams like Houston and Michigan and Arizona and Purdue and Georgia and Texas A&M. I mean, that's what happens when you have the third overall strength of schedule in the country. I mean, Missouri has what, 232 strength of schedule. They played absolutely nobody in non-con. Thank God that they had a neutral game against Illinois to boost it all up. But I really want to bet Auburn here. Sauce said it. I'm pretty high on this Auburn team. I think they're a lot better than people give them credit for. The Texas A&M loss was absolutely disgusting. That's the only thing that this team has really bothered me with. That's the only game that I'm like, man, this team, you know what I mean? Like, because I mean, and they were up 16 points in the second half in that game, and then they came back against a really good Arkansas team, and we went right back to the well with them. Again, those games were at home, so it's a little bit different, but they absolutely slaughtered Arkansas. So maybe that's like a little bit of a one-off or whatnot. But I mean, this team has been tested multiple times on the road. I mean, whether it be Arizona, Purdue, Georgia, who's one of the best offenses in the country, regardless if they have a shitty schedule as well. So I'm just really not impressed with Missouri. The Florida win looks really, really good right now. I think that's more of Florida having an off night. The Kentucky win, I mean, Kentucky's not that great of a basketball team. I'm just really not impressed. And then besides that, I mean, they really haven't looked good. So this is going to be a significant step up in competition for them besides the Florida game, and everything else besides that, they've lost those games. So I'm just not in a spot where I don't really like Dennis Gates in the first place. So I'm not really high on this Missouri team anyway. I just need to see a little bit more. It would only be Auburn for me, but yeah, I haven't pulled the trigger yet.
Who else wants to take a shot at this one?
Yeah, Missouri's a home dog. I'll take it. Auburn's defense has been booty cheeks. Stephen Pearl's come out and just, Pettiford and company. I mean, he's getting mad. They don't play defense. Nobody shows up to do anything. He's been preaching on it, and they're not listening. They're not showing up. Don't know why that's going to start working now. I mean, just saw them beat Arkansas. Congratulations, Arkansas. 8 of 21 from 3, 17 to 37 inside, missed 6 free throws. So, I mean, they had an off shooting night a little bit. Missouri free throws is a little bit of an issue here, but at home, big dog Auburn coming in, Stephen Pearl. I just don't think this Auburn team is that good. Missouri coming in off the loss on the road to Mississippi, where they shot horribly. 7 of 24 from 3, 50%, 12 of 24 at the line. And inside they were good, 18 of 27. But when you're getting outshot from the three-point line and free throw line, it's tough to win a game there. So I think they bounce back at home. I mean, they've gotten some big wins this year. Auburn hitting the road, no thanks. Not laying points with Stephen Pearl in his first year. So give me Mizzou.
Got a good question in the comments. Someone said, Spoon, what's the flight lots look like for the Auburn team?
Oh, that's rough. I'm not quite sure on what that situation would be like right now. I think this is an Auburn spot as well. Missouri's still missing a couple of players, and Sebastian Mack and Javon Porter have started more than 3/4 of their games this season. They stepped up in that first game there without them in that Florida game. One of them went down in the game. They played well versus Kentucky. They lost that Mississippi game. I think Auburn's due for a win here. They played really good versus Arkansas. They played really good versus Georgia. They're sitting 1-2 in conference play. I think they can definitely get Missouri. I think this number's a little bit short. I might get on this number here as well.
It's crazy to think they should probably be 3-0 in conference play, and they're 1-2.
Stimmy OG is in the chat.
No way.
Isn't that the guy who put his whole stimulus check on the right? That's him, right?
Stimmy is. I haven't heard that name
from a few years ago. Do you remember when the stimulus checks came out? So he got to the chat, dropped his whole. It was on Twitter, I think. I forget exactly.
Then he had to take his girls too, or something.
He bet his whole stimulus check, and it lost. Like he bet it on something, and then the next day he posted another bet, the same amount. He goes, "I got my girl's stimulus check."
Stimmy was in the
Ben Korean Super League
I remember
soccer
him from baseball and stuff. That's an OG.
Bet his whole stimulus check, and the next day bet his girlfriend's entire stimulus check. All right, Kentucky LSU. I have no interest in that one, to be honest.
I didn't even know he was still alive.
I haven't seen Stimmy in the chat in quite some time. A couple years, I think.
What a blast in the past. Thank you for that, Stimmy.
Hope all is well, Stimmy.
Yeah.
Kentucky LSU.
Tax refunds coming too.
Yeah, it's that time. Refunds coming. All right, so Kentucky LSU. Which one of you jamokes clicked this one? Oh, this is a
probably me.
Well, yeah. Let's just let Trevor talk about how bad Kentucky is and how sharp LSU is going to be tomorrow. Go ahead, Trevor.
Did you just call it?
Yeah,
I haven't talked to him about
LSU. Give me LSU. LSU at home, 3 straight losses here. I mean, you played Texas A&M, South Carolina. Brutal loss for them on the South Carolina one, but Vanderbilt hung tough with them, and now you got Kentucky, who's they're feeling high and mighty. You beat Mississippi State by 24 points at home, but now you're going to hit the road. Hitting the road has not been nice to them this year. I mean, Louisville, Alabama losses. Lost to Michigan State on a neutral, Gonzaga on the semi-home. They beat St. John's on a neutral. That's the only win outside of Rupp Arena that they have this year. LSU's favored to win this game by 1. They're catching 3.5. It feels a little disrespectful
to win the game by.
I'm sorry, via KenPom. LSU is going to win this 77-76. But Kentucky, Jalen Lowe is also out for the year, shoulder surgery, so he's gone, and he's a huge part for that team. LSU, 3 straight losses. You're coming back home. You just played Vandy tough. I think you get Kentucky. Kentucky's feeling good after the win. Buttholes started to depucker a little bit, finally getting that win for Mark Pope. But now you're going to hit the road and then lose to LSU, and then the hot seat is cranked right back up. So I like LSU with the 3.5. I think LSU is going to win this game. They got athletes. They got guys. And Kentucky's just not good. If they're not making 14 threes a night, they're not winning games.
Based on what I'm looking at here, these two teams are pretty dead even.
Yeah. Agreed.
So then why is one link 3.5 on the road?
Because one's name is Kentucky.
And
the other is perceived. The other team, LSU, is perceived to be horrendous.
Well, I mean, they're not good.
They're better than they were last year. They've been competitive this year.
Well, I mean, they've been competitive against the bad teams. That they've played a top 25 team.
Vanderbilt was a 10-point game on the road. A&M was a 3-point game on the road. South Carolina, yeah, that's a bad loss. Texas Tech, that was a bad loss. I'll give you that one. But they beat SMU. They beat DePaul. I mean, that's crazy. But for an LSU team that's been how many games did they win last year? 14-18 last year, 17-16 the year prior, 14-19 the year prior. They just don't have a lot of success. So I mean, like going and getting wins against power force teams is I feel like significant for this LSU team. And they just played A&M and Vanderbilt, fairly close, both on the road. I just don't think Kentucky's that good. It is what it is. This roster's not that great. I know they got Quaintance back, but now you're losing Lowe, and that's a big loss. That's your point guard. So I think they're going to have some time to figure things out, and I like LSU here tomorrow.
And the only 2 times Kentucky's gone on the road this year, they lost. Last one was to Alabama. Before that, they lost to Louisville, who we've since learned isn't a good basketball team.
I was going to say what sucks because at the time it looked like a good loss. Now we know it's not.
I kind of like this one from TV Jones, not going to lie.
Spoon, go ahead.
He's going to take Tulsa State Kentucky.
Oh, it's Kentucky.
You can tell by the way he's talking. He's going to take Kentucky.
I'm not going to bet it, but
He's like, go ahead.
I think LSU is trappy. I do, but go ahead.
Trappy.
It is.
This is a tough game. I like both of these coaches an awful lot. I think Mark Pope has done a really good job throughout his career, going through just that navigation into a power conference with BYU and now coming over to Kentucky. He hasn't dominated in any of the power conferences, and neither is Matt McMahon, another coach who came up from a mid-major in Murray State, won multiple games in the tournament. LSU started out 0-3. I think it's a good buy low, but I also trust Kentucky. I could see them covering the 3.5 and Kentucky finding a way to win this game.
So pass at the current number, lean Kentucky is what it sounded like?
Pass at the current number.
Go ahead, Toast. Talk about Kentucky.
I just feel like there's a reason it's 3.5, and it has nothing to do with the name. I mean, Trevor said it. I mean, Ken Pom has this game won. I mean, it's not like any of these games. Matter of fact, Bartovic has LSU -2.5. Evan Mia has this a 3-point game, or I'm sorry, a 1-point game. So I don't think that you were going to get. I think the books are telling you there's a reason that they're favored. So maybe this number comes down, but I'm not in love with this.
You can't even make a case for them being favored?
Well, I can make a case for them being favored. They've played a much better schedule. I mean, if you look at their losses, they're all to really good basketball teams. LSU
Louisville
doesn't really have.
Yeah, I was gonna say Louisville.
LSU. I mean, look at LSU's losses and look at their wins. I mean, who's the best team that LSU has beat? SMU.
SMU's a good team. They beat North Carolina.
Okay.
Transitive properties. LSU's beating North Carolina.
But they're not better than St. John's. They're not better than Indiana. They're not better than Mississippi State.
We don't know. They haven't played.
Good argument.
So
Yeah, I don't like it.
Okay, and I see people talking about LSU has injuries. Those guys haven't been around. Jalen Reed hasn't played since November 28th, and then Dayton Thomas hasn't played since December 29th.
Jalen Lowe
he's
played
missed
like
3 games.
6 games in 3 months. So I mean, he getting hurt. Yeah, he got hurt again, but he's been hurt for 80% of the game.
Yeah, well, he's at least tried to play. I mean, that one was that Alabama. He popped his shoulder out like 6 times in the game, kept playing, and now he's gone. I mean, that's toughness. That's grit instilled into your lineup and your guys on the floor. And now they don't have that. It's just gonna be some soft team running around out there, and LSU's gonna be high flying. Bad Mama Jam is slamming it on him tomorrow.
All right. Let's move on. I'm not betting that LSU. Ole Miss, Georgia.
It'd be a fun.
I don't know if this is one that I added, or did someone select this game?
I selected it.
I may have. No.
You can go first, TV Jones, if you'd like.
No, I just took Georgia over 84.5 team total. We've seen Ole Miss. Where's Georgia here? Georgia, I mean, we all know what their offense can do. They're not an elite 3-point shooting team, but they do make them. They get to the rim a lot. They run and gun. I think it's 84.5 just feels incredibly low for a team.
84.5.
Yeah, you got Ole Miss coming off of it.
It would be higher than that, right? The total's 160.
I see 84.5.
All right.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lay double digits with Georgia, but I think they can get 85. I mean, Ole Miss previous games, they gave up 94 to Arkansas, 86 to Oklahoma. NC State got 76 on a neutral. St. John's only 63, but I mean, they've given up some points as of late here. Memphis, they gave up 77. Iowa plays at a slow pace. They gave up 74. Utah, they gave up 75. Miami, they gave up 75. Georgia's offense is incredible, run and gun and tons of points. So 84.5 back at home. I believe they just beat South Carolina 75-70 on the road. Now they're back home after 2 road games. I think they show up, offense gets clicking, and Ole Miss really struggles here.
Thoughts?
I kind of want to take Ole Miss. I am not sold on this Georgia team. I love you, Andy. Rest in peace. But the schedule merchant in me tells me that whenever they've stepped up in competition, they've looked really, really bad. And I know that they got lucky with that Auburn win, but I don't know, man. Laying 11 points when, I mean, 228 strength of schedule. I mean, you've really played nobody. I feel like this is a game where I would take Chris Beard over Mike White almost any day of the week. If people argue with it, so what? But I've just never been a big Mike White fan. But I mean, if we look at Ole Miss, I mean, it's not like they have like a really bad loss on their record. I mean, I guess Oklahoma doesn't look great, but everything else has kind of been fine. And yeah, if they finally got their shit together against Missouri at home, and now they go on the road, but I mean, they're tested. I feel like Chris Beard can figure out a way to slow this Georgia offense down. I just have to see Georgia prove it to me first. You're also asking Georgia to lay double digits against a no-middle defense and a team in Georgia that can't shoot the three ball. Georgia and Mississippi matches up with them all across the board. Another thing that Georgia's really good is that they're really deep. Mississippi can do that as well. I really want the 11 points with Ole Miss personally. I don't know if you can get it still, but I haven't bet this game yet, but this is one that I do have circled. I do think that Mississippi can keep this game close.
Spoon, any thoughts?
Yeah, that's a bit of a disrespectful line in my opinion. Mississippi, if you're going to say anything about Chris Beard, he runs a very slow tempo and has a really good defense. That Texas Tech team led the nation in defense back like 2019. So I don't think this number is accurate at all. Like, they've lost 2 games by more than this number this year. I just really feel like Georgia's a little bit overvalued. There's a huge gap in the strength of schedule, as Toast was kind of alluding to. 91 overall for Mississippi. Georgia's sitting with 228, and that includes Auburn, Florida, and South Carolina, who they just played. If we take all that out, I mean, they're playing Bellarmine, Maryland, Eastern Shore, some of the worst teams in the country, West Carolina, West Georgia. So I don't think Georgia's accurately represented. I also like that Mississippi plus the points. I only see 10.5s out there right now. I imagine this line will continue to come down, but it'll probably close around 9.5.
It looks like. Well, actually, it looks like Circa came down from 11, hit 9.5, and then jumped back up to 10. So
I was going to say Caesars and Bet365 are already at 10. So FanDuel is hanging out at 102 at plus 10.5. I might just take that right now.
well, it looks like it actually touched 9.5 and came back a couple places.
Yeah, I'm just taking the 10.5.
I'm not interested in that game. St. Bonnie, St.Joes.
One of these two.
That is all me. I think this is a great spot for St. Bonaventure here. They're laying 2 points. They're coming off 3 straight losses to VCU, Richmond, and Fordham. St.Joes coming off 2 wins to Duquesne and Richmond. An overtime win versus Duquesne. You obviously have that matchup that you can use with Richmond on both teams. I think it's really easy to get to St.Joes here. Playing at home, catching a couple points as the underdog. I just feel like at this point, St. Bonaventure's reached too low of market value. I think this should be closer to a pick'em or St. Bonaventure laying a point. This is pretty good value in my opinion.
TV Jones, any thoughts?
Yeah, I'm with him. I'm not betting this, but it would be Bonnie's for me. I mean, St. John's the big wins, Duquesne, and then beating Richmond on the road and you're coming home. To play a St. Bonaventure team, we lost to VCU, Richmond, and Fordham here. 2 of them at home, hitting the road. I think they come out pissed off and get them, but I'm not going to bet them.
Toast, any thoughts here?
It would only be the Bonnies as well for me. I don't think I'm going to bet them, but it would only be the
Wow,
Bonnies.
all you like the Bonnies, huh? Let me check out see if there's been any action coming in on this one. St. Bonaventure. Didn't realize you were all going to agree. Nothing.
I don't think that's ever happened.
Nothing.
I didn't bet it or anything.
It's opening up at 2 and just sitting there. Looks like you can get a St. Bonnie's minus 1.5 at a couple spots. Yeah.
DraftKings says 1.5.
Yeah.
Play money line. Why would I mean?
All right, let's go to the next one. St. Peter's.
Oh yeah.
Quinnipiac. Oh yeah.
Oh,
Oh
this
yeah.
is a game.
All right, TV Jones. I guess it's yours because you.
No, it's not my game. This is definitely Spoon.
So wait, hold on. You just climaxed over someone else's game.
I was gonna say now you have to go first. So
Yeah, Spoon.
No, I'll let it. It's his game. I'll let him go first. I'm
no,
just saying,
because
it's a great
we
game.
want to make sure you're not just fading Spoon.
No, we've been agreeing. No,
Yeah,
I'm not
they
fading.
have been
Go
agreeing.
for it, Spoon.
All right, fine. Go ahead, Spoon. Sorry.
This is a Quinnipiac spot. I posted it in the Discord there and on my X post last game before the Sacred Heart matchup. Quinnipiac got their best player back. He's the best guard in the conference, Jaden Zimmerman. Played 24 minutes in that game, had 20 points, went 3 for 4 from 3, 4 from 10 from 2-point range, had a couple steals, a block, looked really good in that game, turned it on. Towards the second half, Sacred Heart was very live. He came back in the game, and that's when they really separated. I think he's going to continue to get more minutes, and I think for these next couple of games, there's still a little bit of value until we reach the double-digit mark here in the MAAC with Quinnipiac. So I'm going to keep riding this Quinnipiac team, -7.5.
All right, TV Jones. You had a climax, so I suppose you feel strongly about this.
Yeah, I'm all cleaned up and ready to talk about this one. Quinnipiac for me too. I laid it with. I'm gonna lay it with Quinnipiac. St. Peter's. Really slow team. The offense is nothing to write home about. Quinnipiac's defense is really good, where you can kill Quinnipiac or at least take advantage of them is the 3-point line, and that's something St. Peter's does not do. Shoot 29% from the line. They fire up 100. They're 140th in the country at shooting them, so they fire up a little more than average, but they don't hit. I mean, they hit their free throw line. They're shooting 77%. They're really good if they could get to the line in this one, but Quinnipiac is really good at not fouling. And then, like he said, they got their guard back. So, I mean, I think there's just a shot in the arm here for Quinnipiac. St. Peter's, I think, is going to struggle. I think Quinnipiac just runs them out the gym, to be honest. I think they win this game by double digits.
Runs them out the gym. So their best player's back. Okay, I like that. Do you think that Spoon? Would you say that's cooked into the number already?
I shared NBA upside with him.
I would hope so. He put up 20 his first game back.
Oh, so he's been back.
Just one game.
One game.
So it's cooked into the number then.
I think so. A little bit. I don't know.
Spoon
Spoon has probably a better understanding than this team's. It would be under or pass for me, but
I think if he had been playing all season long, Quinnipiac would be laying 10.5 to 11 in this game.
I don't want. Okay, that makes sense. I also want to know, what do you think this number would be if he didn't come back yet?
I still think it would be 6.5, 7.5. They have a really good roster.
So you're basically saying they're not accounting enough for him. Okay, that makes sense what you said. All right, Spoon. I mean, I'm not going to watch this game though.
What? You don't have ESPN Plus?
No, I do. I just
he has it.
There's just a lot of options.
There's a lot of options.
So, also baked into this is that St. Peter's is really kind of overvalued as well. They're sitting 5-1 in conference play right now. Nobody had the Peacocks at the top of the MAAC right now. So
all right, let's
Quinnipiac is supposed to be there. They're just getting their best player back. St. Peter's is overvalued. A lot of things come together here. This is one of my favorite bets tomorrow.
This is called Kyle Trust Spoon. There's a 7.5 on the DK. I'm pouncing on it.
Pouncing.
Get it? Because they're the Cats.
Oh, I got it.
Toast says under.
Very punny.
I don't think Toast
Hilarious.
likes it.
Hilarious. Wow, that's really good. Oh, of course, I need the text message verification.
Oh, those are the best.
And the line's up to 8.5.
No, it's not. Sorry,
you don't. You like Zimmerman over Monroe, Spoon?
I'm just going off of third-party analytics, looking at it from the outside in. This is the only guy really talked about in the conference that has any NBA upside. I think Zimmerman is a very good guard, but I just think overall this Quinnipiac roster is the best roster in the.
St. Peter's is in New Jersey. I'm sitting here bugging like I can't find it.
Oh, you got to trade.
Oh, damn.
Kalshi.
Tulsa, Charlotte. It's at 8.5 there though, Trev. I'm down to trade, but not at a bad price. I'm not a reckless trader. Tulsa Charlotte, who picked this gem?
Not me.
Right here again. I think this is another great buy low spot. We're getting Tulsa here. -3.5 is the number I got. On the juice, -110. I think the Charlotte team is just very overvalued. They just come off wins versus UTSA 332 in the country, Rice 247 in the country. Versus Rice, they won by 1 point. They're coming home, so there's some extra value on them baked into this number. But Tulsa's a much better team than either of those teams, and they're coming off 2 losses. They had to go to North Texas, one of the toughest gyms in this conference to play in, and they lost. I don't think that's a bad thing. And then they lost to South Florida. Charlotte is a much worse team. I think Tulsa gets right here, wins this game by 10 points.
Any thoughts?
Just to piggyback on that, 100% agree. Also, Tulsa's been tested multiple times on the road. Kansas State, North Texas, I think Spoon mentioned that as well. But and Western Kentucky is a top 175, maybe even 150 team in Ken Palm as well. I don't have that one in front of me, but I like Tulsa as well.
Would you co-sign Tulsa, TV Jones?
Oh, absolutely. Tulsa had a big win streak going on, and then they went to the Super Pit last Sunday. Took an L there, and then they followed it up by having to play South Florida. So kind of tough. But now you get Charlotte. Charlotte's feeling themselves. They've won 5 of their last 6. They took UIC and Wichita State to overtime to win. Otherwise, it'd be Lafayette, UTSA, and Rice. So, props to them for getting those wins. But Tulsa's the much better team here. And they're coming off of back-to-back losses against 2 really good teams here. Charlotte, I don't feel like they've been as tested lately. I think I'm with them. I think this is a buy low spot. Tulsa's a really good team. They can run them out the gym. When their shots are falling, they can win this game by 15, no problem. They've just been a little rough lately, but they've been playing some really good teams. So I think it's a nice spot for them to really run it up and show out on the 49ers tomorrow.
Everybody
and
loves. Oh, go ahead.
5th in the country in free throw percentage. So those last couple points at the end of the game, you feel a lot more about.
Everybody loves Tulsa. 71% to 14% on the poll. Sport scientist Jacob also got in on Tulsa early at -3.5. Achilles TPS says he's co-signing a Tulsa bet here. And RPG Gargoyle says Spoon and TV Jones are agreeing today due to TV Jones' Friends hat. Friends hat. It's like the TV show.
They were agreeing yesterday too.
Yeah, this is I don't know. There was a phase where I was just buying hats on Instagram ads.
And you landed on Friends, the sitcom.
This hat is probably 8 or 9 years old.
Are you a big Joey Tribbiani?
I was a different man. I was a different man back then.
You're a big Joey Tribbiani fan.
Oh, who doesn't like Joey? Hey, how you doing?
He would be in like the top 10 list of best TV characters ever. He's classic.
No drama, all good vibes.
All good vibes from Joey Tribbiani. Middle Tennessee Latte. Who picked this, dude?
That would be me.
Go ahead.
All right. Now, Middle Tennessee has been a team historically. Well, I shouldn't say historically. As of the last couple of years, at least, they've been a really good home team and rough on the road. As of lately, I mean, this year they're coming back more to their ways about being really good at home, but they've still been a decent team on the road. La Tech, not a good team. Last year they were really good, but they had Daniel Bacho, the Texas Tech big man, there for 2 years, and now they don't have him. And they've really been struggling. I mean, their wins are Jackson State, Alcorn, Louisiana, UTEP, Delaware in overtime at home, and then Indiana State in the beginning of the season when Indiana State was really struggling. So I think them coming off of an overtime win in Middle Tennessee, coming off of New Mexico State, yes, it's a much better team. Now you're traveling again, but Middle Tennessee is just a better team. I don't like this La Tech team. I don't think they have much continuity. The offense doesn't look very good either. You can tell that they just miss having Bacho down low. Maybe they're starting to figure things out given this point in the season, but they haven't been sharp all year. I'll take the Blue Raiders on the road here to get it done here. I really like them on the road tomorrow. I'm not a huge fan of this La Tech team.
KT in the comments is taking La Tech on the money line.
Bring it.
Bring it, he says. Spoon, Toast, either of you guys have an opinion on this one?
I 100% agree with Trevor. Schedule merchant time. Middle Tennessee has played a fantastic schedule. Number 6 non-con, 37 overall. Louisiana Tech 337 in the non-con, 324 overall. I felt like this number was kind of short. I mean, Ken Pom has it 3, Bartovic has it 6. I can't remember what Evan Nia has, but this Middle Tennessee team has played on the road at Michigan, on the road at Houston, on the road at UTEP, and then neutrals against George Washington and McNeese. I feel like this is a significant step down in competition here. Both these teams play pretty slow, so you're going to see limited amount of possession. So maybe it's a little bit tight just because I don't think either team's just going to blow the other one out. But yeah, it would only be Middle Tennessee. I have that one circled. I just kind of wanted to watch it, but I felt like it was a little bit short personally.
Spoon, what are your thoughts?
I want to just lean Louisiana Tech because both of them said Middle Tennessee, but I kind of agree with them. I'd like to try to paint a buy low picture for Louisiana Tech, but they just beat Delaware in overtime. I don't have any faith in that Delaware roster right now. Anytime they've stepped up in competition versus decent teams, they haven't looked good at all. And I do believe Middle Tennessee is a decent team. Their non-con was 6th in the country, so they played some of the toughest teams you possibly could. Your non-con doesn't factor in any of your D3 opponents, and they did have 3 of those, so a few cupcakes, but very tough teams baked in there. Murray State, Michigan, George Washington, McNeese, Belmont, UAB. I think Middle Tennessee's battle tested. I think this number's about right.
Also, I forgot to say they've already, and somebody in the comments mentioned it, they've already played once this year too, and Middle Tennessee won by like 30. So yeah, it's just weird. It's short to me. Everything about this game is weird to me.
All right, let's move on to the next one.
Not to mention La Tech, bottom 5 in 3-point and free throw shooting.
But why is it 3.5 is the question?
Because it's a revenge spot. They just lost by 30. They're back at home. They're going to get them. No, La Tech sucks.
We forgot to put a game on here. Butler plays Xavier? And like a pick? You got to take Butler, right?
No, Xavier. But no, I can't pick Butler games right. So if you like Butler, that's probably for the best. But Butler doesn't play defense. They're not good. Xavier, I think, is better than they get credit for. And they'll be at home at the Cintas. They're not the best at it.
They're better than freaking Xavier.
Yeah, and they're way better than Providence. They're way better than Providence. It's a step up in class for Xavier, who's coming off a home win against Providence. I like Butler money line there. Is that a pick?
I agree with you. I haven't betted or anything like that because I do think that I can't get a read on Xavier. Not that I think they're like any special, but I do think that Patino's going to figure that thing out sooner or later. But I agree with you. Providence, Georgetown, both those teams suck. Cincinnati sucks too. I know that they're ranked decently, but Butler's coming off of playing Creighton, who's been red hot, Villanova, who's been pretty damn good, and St. John's, who's starting to play out of their mind right now. So I think this is a pretty significant step down in competition for Butler, who's also played games on the road versus Creighton, UConn, SMU. So it's not like they haven't been on the road and tested it before. So yeah, I like Butler as well.
I found a minus 116 trade for Butler.
Oh,
I'm going to take Butler. UCF Kansas State? Who wants to go first here?
Go ahead, TV.
I mean, I kind of just want to take an over. Kansas State doesn't play any defense. They gave up 87, 101, and 83 in their last 3. I mean, BYU, Arizona, but it was also Arizona State. They lost. That UCF, they got an offense. I know they lost on the road at Oklahoma State. Beat Cincinnati 73-72 in a grinder out game. Now you're hitting the road again for the second time this year. You're going to Kansas State, but Kansas State isn't anything special. I think they win this game, but I don't have enough faith in them to lay it or pick them. Their defense is just so damn bad. I think both these teams get up in the mid 80s at least. I'll play the over 172. I think defense is optional. I know, but if you watch Kansas State play, defense is optional, and they take it to heart as being optional. They do not play it. So I will take the over, but I think Kansas State wins. I don't have the this is not a Stones play to back Kansas State here.
Not a Stones play. You lost your last Stones play.
1-1. We're fine.
You've been too nervous to bust out a Stones play recently.
No, the second Stones play was a knee jerk. I got pressured into it. Wasn't feeling it. I got pressured into it. Oh yeah, run back the tape. I was pressured into it. But
No, you were the one that did it. You pulled the trigger. No one can fire off your Stones like you can. UCF Kansas State, toast, spoon. Anyone have thoughts?
I want to take Jerome Tang and the boys at plus money in the Octagon of Doom. Personally, yes,
are they dogs now?
I'm sorry, minus the 2. Excuse me, my bad.
Oh, I was gonna say I'll play him as a dog.
I think they're a favorite for a reason. KenPom has this game won, but I mean, look at who Kansas State has played. I mean, they played BYU at home, which actually was a closer game than a lot of people I think thought was going to be. They were actually in that game, I think you could say. Then they go on the road. They do like a semi West Coast road trip out to Arizona, obviously get throttled. And then they play another play a really close game against Arizona State, who's been pretty damn feisty themselves. And not that I'm like, it's like a super fade of UCF. I do agree with Trevor that we're going to see a whole bunch of points in this game. I mean, every single game that Kansas State has played this year has been, I think, over 75 possessions, except for 2 of them. And one of them was Creighton and the other one was Bowling Green. So I definitely think that you can expect possessions in this game, but UCF only 2 true road games. One of them Oklahoma State, where they didn't really look good, and then the other one was on the road against Texas A&M, a Texas A&M team that's, I mean, it's kind of a variance team. We all love some buckyball. They looked really good tonight. Didn't get the job done, but I don't really put too much stock into that. Regardless, I just feel like you should be getting UCF. I mean, not to mention they have Arizona on deck, Iowa State on deck as well. I just don't really love the spot for them. I just think that Kansas State's a little bit undervalued here, and they have a really nice home court advantage here, coming off of 3 games where, I mean, they were in 2 of them. They at least easily should have won one of those games. I know they're 0-3 in conference, but they also have losses to Seton Hall, Indiana, Nebraska. So it's not like when they're losing games, they're losing to teams like UCF. So it would only be Kansas State for me. I'm not in love with laying the number either, but it would only be Kansas State for me.
You have any interest in this one, Spoon? You didn't click it or anything.
So this was a game just like knee-jerk reaction. I looked at it and I was like, oh, I really want to bet UCF here, until I kind of looked how it's set up and just saw that UCF is sitting there with 2 losses in the season right now to Vanderbilt and Oklahoma State. Kansas State is coming off 3 back-to-back losses. They weren't supposed to be in that BYU game at home, and then they played 2 tough road games versus Arizona and Arizona State. I think coming back here versus UCF, Central Florida in a travel spot, I think this is a good Kansas State spot. I think UCF takes money though, and there were 1.5s that were at some of the soft books at open. I wouldn't be surprised to see this come back down where we get Kansas State where you can just buy it at a money line price under 120. And I think that's what I would do. I don't want to move on it at the current number. I do like Kansas State though.
As of right now, yeah. Okay, so Circa opened up 2.5, and it did come down to 2. So it looks like the initial movement is towards Central Florida.
Yeah, I'm hoping this is like a Wisconsin situation.
We should have bet that. I was with you. I liked it too. I
felt so stupid.
And TV Jones bailing on his own team.
I suck, so I don't.
Minnesota.
Toast went 4-2 tonight, but if you listen to him talking in the Discord, you would think he went 0-9. He went 4-2 tonight.
Pissed me off, man.
He's like, guys, don't listen to me. I suck. And I was like, oh man, is he getting smoked again?
No,
like,
I said you suck because you're like, oh, you like leaving money on the table, and I'm like, ugh.
So I think he's getting smoked. I go look at his picks. He's 4-2.
So you just need to fire off like 17 bets a day.
That's what I used to do that all the time, and I'm finally like having some success being a lot more selective.
All right.
Not, you know what screws me is dealing with all this BS with South Dakota State and all these things. Like, you give me Power 5 conferences, I usually am pretty good. It's where I get into trouble as I get down the rabbit holes with these little conferences. That
I'm the exact opposite. I'd rather not bet a single Power 5 game.
I would say, based on football, that you can find way bigger edges in the smaller games, but the information's harder to come by. That's why the edges are there. But yeah, it's personal preference, I would say. Whatever you're more comfortable with. South Dakota State, North Dakota State, Jackrabbits. Who picked it?
Me.
Minus 500, Trevor.
All right. We Jackrabbits outright?
he loved the Jackrabbits.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna take the points in this rivalry all day. I
Wait,
know it's
before you go on, are you taking the
Yep.
points because it's +5.5, or do you actually like them?
I was waiting for that.
Well, I mean, I guess I never thought of that. There's that too, but no, this is a big rivalry game. This is a huge rivalry game. You got North Dakota State coming in here, winners of 4 straight. Here now, but last 2 on the road, they're back home. But South Dakota State has not looked good. Losers of 4 of their last 6. Wyoming, Milwaukee, Arizona, North Dakota got them. They beat Omaha and Denver. But this is just a simple, just rivalry play. Like, both of these teams know each other. They don't like each other, and it's the Dakotas, man. Like, this place is gonna be jumping. It's gonna be live. I think South Dakota State's gonna get some fans that travel too. Because it's a big rivalry. I'll take the 5.5 all day. I think they're live to win this potentially. Like, I'm not laying 3 possessions in a rivalry game. I don't care if it was on the moon. Not doing it. Give me South Dakota State.
He goes, it's the Dakotas, man. Oh, what the hell does that mean? Toast, Spoon, any thoughts here?
Go ahead, Spoon.
So my biggest issue here is that Brian Peterson is in his first year of this rivalry. He's been an assistant at South Dakota State, though, for the last 6 years, and they do return quite a few minutes. So my initial lean to just fading the new coach in the rivalry doesn't really set up here. They have more minutes continuity than what North Dakota State does, but Dave Richmond's been a coach here at North Dakota State for a long time. I don't expect him to fumble this home game.
Wow, so you're saying TV Jones does not have a feel for this? It doesn't sound like Toast is interested, but you can just move on.
I agree with Spoon. I don't know these teams like they do, so I don't want to pretend it. But I give you that it's going to be a little bit of a step up in competition for North Dakota State, but I don't know. I feel like they're still a lot better team, but I don't know. We'll see.
I'm also not going to lay points with a team that shoots under 70% from the foul line in a rivalry game, and you need to win by 3 possessions. No,
what does San Diego State shoot?
Who gives a shit? They play some bad teams in the Mountain West. All right,
It
doesn't affect the free throw percentage.
We got another rivalry game coming on here. Illinois and Northwestern, huh, fellas?
Trevor, just tell him it's the Dakotas, man.
Yeah, you guys just don't get it. You're asking too many questions. You just don't get it.
You don't ask questions in the Dakotas.
Just don't get it, man.
All right, so Illinois Northwestern. Trevor's gave us a nice lead in there. He said we got a rivalry here. It's a Big Ten rivalry. Is 9.5 too many or too few? Go ahead, TV Jones.
Oh, me right away. Yeah, I mean, Northwestern loses the 3 straight. This team is not really any good, but Nick Martinelli is just a stud, man. He does it all for this team. I mean, if he ever goes down or misses time, this is going to be a bad team. They're not great, but they'll be extra bad if Martinelli ever can't go. But Illinois is starting to get it going here. You look at this. They beat Missouri. They beat the Penn State game was a little rough, but beat Rutgers and then beat Iowa on the road. Now they're traveling back. This is in Illinois, obviously, so I'm sure they went home and then they're just going to travel to this one the day of or so. But Illinois is getting it going. Northwestern hasn't looked sharp. They just lost in overtime to Rutgers on the road. Now you're coming back home to play an Illinois State team that's got their feet under them, starting to get healthy, and they're starting to just kind of roll teams a little bit here. So I'll lay it with Illinois going against my my previous game, but this ain't the Dakotas. This is Illinois. So it doesn't matter. Give me Illinois minus the 9.5.
Is South Dakota, North Dakota State? He goes, this is the Dakotas, man. Next game, this ain't the Dakotas. Illinois.
I will say I'm not a huge fan of fading Northwestern at home as dogs because Chris Collins gets not what the hell is his name? Yeah, Chris Collins gets the most. Yeah, gets the most out of these guys. They play hard. They're like a Seton Hall light defensively. So
a Seton Hall light. So the overrated, according to Toast.
No, overrated. They covered.
No,
Good teams win, great teams cover.
Yeah, Toast calls them overrated.
Yeah, he just loves burning money.
I got to back off the train. They got another cover today, so lucky them. I mean,
Only
they
down
lost.
8. They were down 18 and came back and had it within 1. I told you they do not die.
I told you that John Blackwell was the truth, and you laughed at me.
Well,
He got lucky. They are going to get pounded in the
that
next
game
game.
made it even worse.
I know.
I said he doesn't string more than 2 good games together.
I know.
Congrats on beating Minnesota. Impressive.
beating Minnesota in the barn. Spoon, you're in this area, Illinois Northwestern. Is this a rivalry?
It's a rivalry that would mean more to Northwestern. I don't think this is a huge rivalry, in my opinion. I'm a little bit east of this. I think this is a great spot for Northwestern coming off 3 straight losses. They haven't had that big step up, big win at home yet. And every single year, Trevor alluded to it, Chris Collins does get step up wins. When Purdue was running the Big Ten, looking like they might go undefeated in conference play, there was Northwestern to knock them off. They've been there for all the teams. Illinois is sitting there looking really pretty on paper. I think this is a great spot for Northwestern, plus 9.5. I expect Illinois money to come in, and I might catch this if it gets past 10.5, 11.
It sounds like Toast agrees.
Oh, I love me some Northwestern
You
tomorrow.
love
Friday.
this.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's just get into this really quickly. Another little soliloquy of mine. I love Illinois. They're one of the teams that I have money on to win the national title. I believe. That being said, I think they've overperformed on the road here, and I think that's why we're starting to get these, three plus possessions with Northwestern here. So going back in their road games, Illinois played Ohio State, shot 40% from deep. They played who else did they play? They played Iowa. They shot 39% from deep. They played Ohio State. They shot 36% from deep. This team shoots like around 35% on the season. I just feel like it's really a tall task to ask this team to come in here into Northwestern and shoot another, 36 to 40% here against a Northwestern team that, I will give you that they're not anything fantastic. But like Trevor said, Martinelli is pretty damn good. They have a nice little barn, and they've also played a pretty decent schedule the last couple of weeks. I mean, 64th in the country. Their non-con was nothing. But again, we talked about Minnesota being a pretty decent team. They lost to Minnesota. They lost to Michigan State. And this Rutgers team, again, I think that Rutgers sucks, but Rutgers is starting to kind of play well. 2-4 in conference. They've lost to Ohio State and Illinois, and Michigan and Purdue. I mean, that's not terrible. And most teams are going to lose those games. So I don't even think the Rutgers bat is that terrible. And they lost that game in overtime on the road. And now they come back home to an Illinois team that, as Trevor would say, might be sitting a little bit fat and happy right here. I don't think that Northwestern wins this game, but especially 10 or more, I'm going to take it. I mean, I just don't understand why it's so many points. I mean, I feel like Northwestern can kind of really match up with these guys, especially defensively. And I don't even think that Northwestern is terrible offensively. I mean, they don't turn the basketball over either. They can't shoot the 3 ball to save their life. But like I talked about, if Illinois comes on here for the 4th game in a row on the road and shoots 36 to 40%, you can have my money. I'll take the points with Northwestern.
Well, I was looking at this before here from CBB Analytics. So we should see a slower paced game. These two teams in pace, we got 36 percentile and 27 percentile in pace. Illinois, just 5.9 fast break points per game. So Illinois is, I'm just guessing, just lives super slow pace, lives in the half court.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Well, yeah, they have.
So
they have guys.
Wouldn't that prevent Northwestern from playing the basketball they want to play? They don't turn the ball over and they play in the half
other
court.
part of that is Illinois doesn't force any turnovers, so they can't start any fast breaks in the first place. They're at the bottom of the country for turnovers forced.
So the under is the play. It's a slow-paced game, a lot of half-court possessions. Neither of these teams turn the ball over. We should see full possessions. We should see limited fast breaks. It's under 152.5, right?
Yeah, I agree. I think that I'm going to be playing the points, but I think it's another situation where I wouldn't be surprised if you play under 152 and you're looking at 150, 149.5 in the morning.
It looks like the total's been bet up. Why?
Really?
Oh, no, never mind. Circa was at 154, came down a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm seeing juiced 151 and a half for the under.
I don't know these. I haven't watched Northwestern play. I'll gamble in under. I'll watch this game too.
Northwestern has a higher pace, but I also think that that's some of the games they played. I mean, their last few Big 12 games, Big 10 games, 71, 67, 66. They played Ohio State with 72, but even Wisconsin, they only had 69 possessions. So it's not like they're trying to just get out and run a ton.
And I found a 153.5 too.
Ooh.
Yup.
Where?
Caesars. Got it. Sorry to hold the show up, but I do want to watch that game, and I wanted to get that number. 153.5. I'm in.
Holy shit, Stanford's.
We're about to get to that game.
I know. That's why it popped up on my screen, and I said, "Oh, hello."
All right, so I just bet. I got 153.5. Yeah. Oh, this says 152. I guess it's at 152 wherever I made the graphic. 153.5 is what I bet. All right.
I can take a week. I'll be right back.
Okay. Next game. Oh, speaking of North Carolina, Stanford.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I don't know how much they're taking money. I just see some of the 2.5s, 2.5. So I just kind of happened to glance. I'm not positive what that looks like, but
I bet one North Carolina game. I think it was back in early November, and I did watch the entire game. And my takeaway was a lot of talent, a little out of sync, and a little sloppy with the ball. But that was like
we did cover in cash,
and we did cover. We did cover late there. So I guess how has this Toast give us the rundown? How has this team looked since then?
They've looked pretty damn good. No real. I don't know if you could call Stanford a step up in competition from what they've seen, but they really haven't played like any of the who's. I mean, losses to Michigan State and SMU, which Michigan State's obviously really good. I guess SMU is good. I don't know. Spoon, do you think that team is good, or they just kind of have some really good losses? But I don't know. I just don't feel like that team's that good. I don't think that pace can really. I don't know.
I think as conference play starts to heat up, I think the pre-Clemson game schedule is going to look a lot different than the next 15 games we see. Yeah, I think SMU comes down to earth.
Okay, same here. So I'm not crazy. So again, it's the SMU loss isn't pretty, but that game was on the road and SMU scored 97 points. It is what it is. But it's for me, it's more of what are you going to get from Stanford, because Stanford is one of these teams that, like with North Carolina, you usually know that they're like one of the bigger teams in the country. And usually you can think of Stanford as one of those teams, but Stanford's kind of got a couple big guys, but nothing really that I think athletically matches up with North Carolina here. That's why I was kind of surprised to see twos on there after 2.5s being on the board, because I think that North Carolina is a significantly better team. Yes, they are traveling to the West Coast, which is not obviously great. I don't think they've had to do that all year. Like they've only went to Florida for their neutrals. So yeah, it's a long travel spot for them, but at the same time, this is North Carolina. I mean, I know obviously they have some freshmen and stuff like that, but most of these guys, and especially freshmen, have traveled and stuff. I'm not really worried about that. I think North Carolina wins this game by multiple possessions. And I love betting Stanford in certain spots, especially like we bet them against Louisville as well. It's not a fade of Stanford. I think they're actually pretty good, a better team than people think, but I don't like this matchup for them at all. I think that North Carolina is a lot more athletic. They're a lot better offensively. And for what everything good that Stanford does defensively, I think UNC does it just a little bit better. But maybe not forcing the turnovers kills them, but I don't know, man. I think North Carolina wins this game by multiple possessions.
You can get a 1.5 for anyone that has a Hard Rock account left. Spoon?
This is a really tough road trip, in my opinion.
That's what I'm saying.
To have so, like, if you look at North Carolina's schedule last year, they didn't travel out to the West Coast. Stanford came in to North Carolina and beat them. I always kind of like the revenge angle. I think Hubert Davis is a pretty good coach. He's got a good conference record over his tenure there. I don't think he's a great coach, though, and I just think this is a tough spot. I'm not going to get involved with it. I think this number's short, and it's short for a reason. Stanford's probably going to be live in this game, but I'm not going to be involved with it.
TV Jones, they both were leaning towards North Carolina, but I don't think either of them are actually betting it.
No, I'm not going to bet North Carolina. This is their first trip out west. I mean, this is coast to coast. This is as far as you can really go. It's Stanford or nothing, but I'm not backing Stanford here. So maybe an over. Maybe North Carolina's a little slow defensively, and Stanford can kind of hang around. But I think UNC gets theirs. I think they give it up a little bit too. So I guess an over, but Stanford too. But no bet.
Great homestand for Stanford, though. North Carolina tonight, and then tomorrow night, and then Duke on Saturday. Good for them.
Like, if the Notre Dame game didn't happen where they scored 40 points, I think I'd be on Stanford here. But it's so hard. Like, the vividness bias exists from that game. They played an entire basketball game, 40 minutes, and scored 40 points.
They just played another one that scored 55.
So in my mind, it's Virginia, but it's not Bennett, Virginia.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Well, Odom's doing a pretty kick-ass job there, as we saw tonight.
Vanderbilt, Texas is up next. Are you a buyer of this Vanderbilt team, TV Jones?
Oh, yeah. I mean, they're basically like Alabama, but I think they're a little bit more polished. I mean, this team runs and guns, can shoot, can score. Defensively, they're not bad. You know how I stand on Alabama. I don't think.
I know.
They're like a better Kentucky. They need to make like 15 threes a night.
They looked pretty impressive tonight.
Oh, who they play tonight? They played a nobody.
They played Mississippi State. That's not a
They played Mississippi State with 4 guys. They didn't even have 5 guys on the floor.
Yeah, come on, TV Jones. You're coming off like an Alabama hater.
Literally, I think 7 scholarship players tonight. 20-point win on the road. Blowout.
Sick. And then there's going to be games where they lose because they can't hit water if they fell out of the ocean. That's the pros and cons of living behind the 3-point line. But schedule this, schedule that, whatever. Teams change. I mean, Vanderbilt's been pretty solid. I mean, they've been tested. UCF, VCU, St. Mary's, SMU, Memphis, Wake, South Carolina, Alabama, LSU. Gotten all wins here. Now you're going to go play a Fugazi Texas team. I don't think this Texas team is good. Rodney Rice isn't here to save you as your dog bet. Sean Miller, yeah, I think he's going to get this going, but this is his first year here. Vanderbilt's absolutely cooking. 164.5 also seems pretty low because we know Texas doesn't really care for defense and they can pop up and score. This line is a little weird, but I think Vanderbilt's a better team. I'll lay it with Vanderbilt, and I do like that over.
What do you said it's a little weird. Are you suggesting it should be higher?
I don't know. I mean, I don't think Texas is that great, but Vanderbilt can run it up on anybody. Their offense is really fast. I get they're on the road. It's conference play, so that might make a little bit more sense. But regardless, I'm going to dive in. They're the better team. I don't care. These weird fake sharp spots have not been coming home this year, so I'll just take the better team on the road here. Don't care. I'll lay it with Vanderbilt.
Well, I'm looking at Vanderbilt's schedule. They have gone on the road plenty of times, and they've had success. They beat the hell out of Wake. They went to South Carolina, beat them by double digits, beat UCF by double digits. Memphis did take them to overtime, but they won that game. So this is a team that has been on the road a bunch of times. I kind of like Vandy, too.
Yeah. Top 40 schedule. I'm curious to hear what Spoon has to say on this one. I know you're not a big Power 5 guy, but I really like the Longhorns tomorrow, personally.
I'm on the opposite side of this. I also like Vanderbilt. This is Trevor's angle here where Texas knocked Vanderbilt out of the SEC tournament last year. I think this is a spot where Vanderbilt probably is a little bit overvalued at this point in the season just because the amount of wins they've accumulated without a loss. But I don't think we should knock teams for just beating the teams that are in front of them. And Texas is also overvalued in that Alabama win. Like, they won 92-88. They were up 15 points in the second half of that game. Alabama almost came all the way back and won it. Texas started 0-2 in conference. They needed a get-up game. They got it there. I think they come back down to earth. Sean Miller really needs a win at home, really wants a win at home. I think they maybe show up in the first half, but Vanderbilt really just shows that they're the better team, and they separate in this game.
All right, Toast, I guess you're on a lone Texas island.
Yeah, I just think that Texas is the team that's a little bit undervalued. Not a fate of Vanderbilt at all. They've played a really good schedule, all that good stuff. Everything checks off there. Don't think they're a top 10 team in the country personally, but that's just a personal opinion. But if I'm looking at Texas, I mean, there's not a lot of bad there. I mean, you lose to Duke. Okay, who doesn't lose to Duke? You lose a 1-point game on a neutral in Hawaii, I think it was, to Arizona State. You go on the road, or I'm sorry, you lose to Virginia. I mean, Virginia's a fantastic team. You lose on the road at UConn. Who cares? You lose in overtime at home to Mississippi State, a team that's been pretty decent. Not nearly as good as Vanderbilt at all, but a 3-point loss in OT. And then 3 days later, you got to go and play a pissed off Tennessee team. You get waxed. And then 4 days after that, you go on the road again and beat a top 20 Alabama team. And now you're coming home facing a Vanderbilt team where they obviously, like what they've just talked about, they haven't lost a game and yada, yada, yada. KenPom has this game 6. This game opens up at 5.5. I don't think that anything that Vanderbilt's going to throw at Texas is going to throw them off. I don't think that the Vanderbilt offense is head and shoulders above the Texas offense either at all. It's what are we going to get out of Texas defensively, I think, is the issue here. But I also think that given the fact that Texas has played a decent schedule as well, I think that sooner or later some of those numbers are going to get better. Again, that's not me taking a shot at Vanderbilt at all. Vanderbilt's been awesome, but I do think that this is a reason that this is under 2 full possessions. I think Texas can keep this game kind of close. I think they try to slow this game down a little bit, where Vanderbilt's trying to like to speed this game up. I know that Texas has played higher paced games, but I think when they're in their comfort zone, they're playing in the 65 to 70 possessions type of stuff, not in the super high possessions like Vanderbilt's trying to play at 75 plus. So if they can slow this game down, I think that Texas has a chance here. But I'm going to wait to see if this number gets bet up. If this number's still at 5.5 or whatever in the morning, Texas probably wins outright.
No, they don't. Next up is
I appreciate your stunning analysis on that.
Vandy. Loyola Marymount in Corvallis. It's Wednesday night in Corvallis.
That's all I needed to know.
So Toast is going with the Beavers. Is anyone anti-Beaver here?
Anybody?
I think I might be. I mean, I don't think this Corvallis spot in this Oregon State team is really good. LMU is, they popped up. They've been playing pretty, because Oregon State's just been absolutely catching teams at home this year. Now I'll take LMU.
Seattle.
No bet. What's Seattle? Okay, Seattle. All right.
San Francisco, Montana State.
We're just pulling out mid majors. Like now we care about what mid majors.
North Texas, they're pretty good.
But now we care about mid majors. That now we respect mid majors.
What is Oregon? Oh, I mean, I guess technically. Well, no, they're West Coast Conference.
We respect Seattle on the show, TV Jones. That's a given. We respect Seattle on the show.
Oh, 100%. But I'm just saying, Oregon State was a spot where we would bet them and Corvallis against Gonzaga and St. Mary's and shit. But I don't think this team is that good. LMU's really good this year. I think they're underrated. They're going on the road, laying a point. I think that's the right move. I mean, Oregon State is not – last year they were pretty good. They've lost their big man. They've lost some other pieces, and now they're just kind of just whatever. I don't think they're very good. I like this LMU team. They've been playing really good. Who's the coach's name? Like Stan something? Forgive.
Yeah, Stan Johnson.
Stan Johnson. Yep. Wayne Tinkle, you got to give him the edge for the best and a good name there, but – other than that, I don't see much advantages for Oregon State here. Give me LMU laying the one on the road. They're favored for a reason. They're going to get it done.
What a bunch of horseshit.
What number are you getting on this game right now, Toast? I see a plus 1.5, minus 110, and a money line 110. You want to do the money line 110?
Yeah. Couple things here. For one, I agree with Trevor that Loyola's is the better team. Not probably. They are the better team. I don't want to make it sound like they're not, but they haven't been great on the road. Obviously, Santa Clara, Gonzaga, Washington State, stuff like that. Not as good as Oregon State, but we've talked about it on this show for multiple years and stuff. These are the types of spots that we want at home. And we've had a lot of success. I know Spoon had a big play on Oregon State versus Vermont early in December. I know I've played Oregon State a couple times here. as well at home. They're just the kind of spots that I like, and they're one of those teams that at home it matters to me because what do? They shoot free throws well, and they shoot their three balls well, and they kind of get up a little bit more defensively, and they've actually done a really good job of preventing the three ball, and that's one thing that LMU relies on. So if LMU can go on the road and hit their three balls against a team that can defend it, that usually gets up for it at home, so be it. But yeah, I'll be taking a small stab at Oregon State at the plus money for sure.
Boone,
Also, Oregon State classes just came back in session January 9th. This is the first home game since students are back.
Rowdy.
Oregon State's closing.
Yeah, Corvallis is going to get super rowdy when LMU comes to town.
Rowdy.
First home game back. It absolutely is going to be. It's going to be a rowdy environment. Oregon State closes as short favorites.
They're going to be like dropping beers with parachutes.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Kind of like the Bratz.
They're dropping beers with parachutes. Then it's over.
It's like TV Jones' wet dream.
Remember when TV Jones took a first date to get the Bratzuka?
There's a college that had $1 beers for a noon tip the other day.
Towson.
It worked. Didn't he move in with her?
Yeah, he lives with her now.
It worked out.
His first date
You
was
wanted the Bratzuka again this summer.
Wow. It's a romantic.
Right by the Bratzuka.
That's called romance in Wisconsin. The Bratzuka.
They say romance.
Where they literally have a rocket launcher that launches brats.
It's the greatest invention ever.
Who picked this game?
That's how he's going to propose. He's going to go out there with the Bratzuka.
Yeah. A close range of Bratzuka, and it's Trevor who picked this game, Nevada, Utah State.
Yeah, Utah State by 1 million. This Utah State in Logan is they're a different animal. Like they pound teams at home. Nevada coming off of the Wyoming win. Congratulations, Wyoming's kind of a smaller team. They got it there, but they also came off that San Diego State loss, so a little pissed off here. But now you're hitting the road to Utah State. Logan gets crazy. This place gets rowdy. Utah State is absolutely just drilling teams. They're not playing close games. Their last close game, 5 points to Illinois State, Saturday, December 13th. Other than that, 42-point win over Colorado State, 10-point win or 9-point win over Fresno. San Jose State was an 18-point win. Air Force was a 37-point win. Boise State was a 25-point win. They're shit-pumping teams. And now you get Alfred coming in here to Logan. I think it's GG's. I think Utah State runs them out the gym. They do have Grand Canyon on deck, so maybe it's a little bit of a look ahead, not to mention from Boise back home, then they're traveling to Grand Canyon, but they're at home. This place is going to be raucous. This is one where it matters when students are there because they get crazy.
Utah State gets crazy, but not Corvallis.
Have you ever watched Utah State play?
Yeah.
Corvallis
This
gets crazy.
place is a madhouse.
It's true. Trevor's right.
I like Nevada outright.
One of the best mid-major home court environments in the entire country.
Give me Nevada.
Boone, do you have an opinion on this one?
Utah State needs some style points. So if we look at their strength of schedule at this point in the season, they have one loss. It's to South Florida on the road by double digits. They've beaten everybody else. They've looked very solid. I expect them to win this Mountain West Conference, but Jared Calhoun's no stranger to having 22, 24 win teams and missing the tournament. He knows what he needs to do to get recognized in that bubble picture, and that's gain some style points here in conference play. These decent teams that are going to be quad 2, quad 3 victories, he needs to look very good against. So I would only lay it with Utah State. I think it's a really big number. I'm not going to bet it, but I think it's the right side.
Toast, any thoughts, or should we move on to Michigan?
Oh, I got thoughts. All
right, what are your thoughts?
So, Utah State is flying high right now, looking fantastic, especially coming off that Boise State win on the road where they just dismantled Boise State. I think that game was a pick 'em. I think 1.5 or something like that. They beat that game.
1.5.
Yeah, and they just dismantled them 93-68. That's fantastic. I also think that Nevada is playing pretty good basketball as well. They have a top 75 schedule with losses to Santa Clara, UC Davis, Washington on a neutral, and San Diego State. So nothing to write home about, but they've also beat Boise State as well. They throttled that team as well. So it's not. I'm not trying to make a case that Nevada has some crazy good resume or anything like that. But what I will say is this. I think that the Utah State market value is at an all-time high right now. And part of that reason is because they're absolutely on fire from three-point land. And yes, they are one of the better three-point shooting teams in the country. There's no question about it. But when you shoot 44% from deep against Boise State, 46 against Air Force, 41 versus San Jose State, 57% versus Colorado State. The only game that they didn't shoot over 41% from three was the game against Fresno State. That game was on the road. They shot 25% from deep. They won that game by 9 points. I just feel like this is another type of one of those games. It's just a lot to ask these kids to continuing to shoot essentially 40+% every single night. And now you have a Nevada team that's came in here, that's played a better schedule, that's been tested on the road multiple times, whether it be in Santa Clara, Washington State, Fresno, Colorado State. All those places aren't great or aren't easy to play, especially given the context of the Mountain West Conference. The only thing that bothers me is that Nevada relies a lot on the three ball too. And so if they're having an off night from three, that could be an issue here. But Utah State's not one of the best teams at defending the three ball. Again, I'm not trying to pick apart Utah State in any way. They are a fantastic team, and Spoon was 100% right. If there's one coach in the country that knows that they have to win and have style points, it's going to be Jared Calhoun. But again, I just feel like this number is kind of high. Give me Nevada plus the 13. I'm hoping Utah State's money. I want like a full 14. But regardless, very good chance I'm on Nevada tomorrow.
I'm not betting this one.
Average margin of victory at home in conference play right now is 30 points.
Michigan.
Also, Utah State also gets to the rim, top 30 in average 2-point distance. Nevada, one of the bottom 60, 70 teams in the country, just allowing teams get shots to the rim. So Utah State's going to get whatever they want tomorrow.
Yeah, probably. Nevada can make it rain, though.
It ain't happening.
Michigan, Washington. Now, is the lore Michigan is not the same team on the road? Would you consider that lore to be true?
Until they prove us otherwise, right? I mean,
yeah.
I don't know.
12 is Washington any good?
No, but I want to give them a shout out because they did come through for me on Sunday. Had a full unit on them versus Ohio State.
Washington's not even good. They're not even good.
They're kind of I don't agree. I don't think they're good. Go ahead, Spoon. They're an enigma to me.
I just want to make sure I'm following this correctly. Is it just me, or did the last two games drop Michigan 8 points in market? Am I following that correctly?
It 100% did. A week and a half ago, we were talking. I think the quote was Michigan is 10 points better than any other team in the country right now, right before those last two games happened. And I don't think really anything's changed. A little bit of sleepy spot right before you hit the road to go make your first West Coast road trip. Wisconsin got up for them. I think this is a Michigan spot.
Yeah,
here.
me too. Let's do it.
100%. 100,000%.
I was hoping you said that. Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong. 8 days ago, this is Michigan minus 22.5.
I think
and
that if I was going to say, I think that if Michigan, yeah, I'm not even making a joke. I think if they just don't lose that Wisconsin game and they win by 4 or 5 or something, this number is still 15 plus. I mean, I don't understand why this number is so short. To be honest, I know what Ken Palm has in stuff, but I mean, we're getting Michigan off of a loss for the first time. I mean, what's the flight distance from Ann Arbor to Seattle? It can't be 5 hours. It can't be that bad. I mean, they've had multiple days to prepare for it. I just don't get it. Not to mention, that they've heard they're watching this show. They know that they're not good on the road. They got to prove it to us somehow.
This one.
They got to prove it to us somehow. But no, in all seriousness, the only thing that I want to say is that Washington has played a very good schedule. So 10-6 doesn't look fantastic, but they do have losses on the road to Indiana and Purdue. They lost to Seattle, which isn't a great loss, but Seattle was really good and sneaky defensively. So Colorado, UCLA, Baylor kind of sucks now, but I don't know. I still 100,000% agree with Michigan. I just wanted to give, some context to Washington.
I'm betting Michigan.
I just took the 12.5 108. I think that number goes up.
Took the exact same thing, Spoon. Are you with us, Trev?
I am. You got Michigan off of a loss now. Washington has not been sharp. I think a lot of people are going to be fake sharp in Washington tomorrow because Michigan West Coast travel trip that they're going to come out flat and shit. But there's no way Dusty May and these guys do not come out red hot with vinegar in their piss and
It's piss.
pummel.
Oh no, it is.
Yeah.
It is vinegar.
Yeah, I was going to say. I think I said it right.
Yeah, you said it right.
They're going to kill Washington. Just no thanks. If Michigan can cover this, so be it. But they've got the bigs, they've got the guards, and Wisconsin just shot lights out that night, that day on Saturday. It is what it is. Washington will not be doing that to you. So Michigan, lay it.
All right, I just bet that I'm in.
And we might also be getting a little bit of discount because they haven't been covering on the road. So I don't know.
Duke, Cal.
Cal sucks so bad.
Even TWD is on Michigan.
Oh wow. I guess I don't know, man.
This number feels about perfect, right?
Yeah. I mean, you got Duke traveling to the West Coast. I mean, they're just not playing like fantastic right now. I mean, they're winning games, but SMU, Louisville, Georgia Tech, Florida State, it just kind of feels like they've been kind of sleepwalking through these games. It's just, do I think that Duke's the clear and better team? Would I take Cal? Absolutely not. But I don't know, man. They feel like Duke feels like they've been playing with their food a little bit, and I just don't really want to get involved with that. So, not that Cal has done anything to impress me at all. They haven't played a good schedule, and the 4 times that they've stepped up in competition, they've lost all those games, and none of those teams sniff Duke in any way, shape, or form. So they lost to 3 by Georgia Tech and Kansas State, and Virginia Tech and Louisville absolutely smoked this team. So it would only be Duke for me. I bet you it gets bet up a little bit. I don't know. I feel like we should probably bet Duke, but I don't know.
Yeah, Cal first half, Duke traveling from east to west coast. It's going to be a tough travel. And then we saw, Duke can come out slow. I mean, Louisville did it, and then they the second half, they just turn it on and cruise. I'd play Cal first half instead of full game. I can see Cal
versus Michigan State. Who else did they started slow against somebody else too? I think so. Yeah,
a lot of people.
It's not crazy. Yeah.
Oh, sports scientist Jacobs in the comments too. He's got a full unit on Michigan. I thought this is past sports scientist Jacobs bedtime usually this late. Spoon, any interest in this one, or should we move on to TCU BYU?
I like Cal here. I think Duke is the much better team. I don't like the spot for them. They haven't traveled outside of the central time zone this year. Last year, when they traveled to the West Coast time zone for the first time, it kind of laid an egg versus a team they definitely could have beaten. I expect them to beat Cal, but I think the number's too big.
Where's West Point? Just for the record, I have no idea.
That's in New Carolina, isn't it?
Yeah, I knew it was the East Coast. Obviously, I just didn't. When I looked at it, I was like, I don't know exactly where that is.
Talking Army's campus.
Yeah.
This guy, Jed, in the comments goes, Simon, don't even try. Kirms doesn't respond to acknowledge chat. I do respond to acknowledge chat when they're asking about and talking about the games. You've asked me 40 questions that have nothing to do with what we're talking about. Can you see we're in the middle of something? He's like, hey, what about South Carolina? Hey, ask me just randomly, get to stop working to answer every question you have. If you have a question about this game, we'll answer. Dude just hopped in, started asking random questions about whatever popped into his ADHD brain.
I saw that question. What was it? Women basketball in the morning or something?
He asked 15 different questions. None of it has anything to do with what we're talking about. As if hop in and hey, everyone pause. I have some questions.
If you haven't noticed, we spend 5 minutes on each game.
Yeah,
so
we're
it's not
in the middle of something,
Whoa. I was ready for the Stones pick on the women's basketball game in the morning. TV Jones is about
Who's playing? If South Carolina's playing, I don't know. Lay it.
This is disrespectful. This number. This is disrespectful.
Man, I hate that I agree with that statement, and I know why you're making it, and I wish I could say otherwise, but I do agree with you.
TCU's legit, right? No, you can't ask TV Jones about this one. BYU has scared the piss out of Trevor. He's terrified of BYU.
I am not scared of BYU.
I know for a fact he's scared of BYU. Every time BYU comes up, you're like, this team's really good, guys. I don't know.
They're very cowardice, in my opinion. I mean, got to play us, and they're like, oh no. You come play at our Barney Court in Elevation. Maybe we'll go to the Kohl Center at some point. They ain't ever coming. They're scared to play us.
So now they're scared to play Wisconsin. Literally 20 minutes ago, you're like, Wisconsin's the worst team in the Big Ten.
Hey, man, let me do my thing.
Spoon, TCU live?
I think TCU plays a lot better at home. This is tough versus BYU. This team has beaten every team that's been in front of them. Had to play Connecticut in a basically true road environment, lost by 2 points. That's the only blemish on the record right now. It's a big number. I like BYU or TCU with the points, but I do not like the live money line look.
I'll take that. TV Jones, what are your thoughts? Let me guess, BYU is just the best team in the country, and everyone should fear them.
I mean, TCU is going to Elevation now to play. I mean, you're coming off of the Kansas road game that you gave away. Then you just played Arizona at home. You got pieced up by 13. Now you're going to travel again and go to Elevation. BYU coming in from Utah, so nothing different there. But they do have Texas Tech on deck. Maybe a bit of a look ahead. I'd be inclined to play TCU, but
there you go.
Don't love it, but given the spot, I mean, BYU's got Texas Tech on deck. They just played at Utah, so it's nothing serious, a little travel. But TCU's had a gauntlet the last three. I mean, Baylor, Kansas, and then Arizona. So how much do they really have left in the tank is really the question.
Left in the tank.
Dude, TV Jones is so lost in the sauce. BYU has him doing mental gymnastics.
I know, dude. BYU's in your head.
What? No.
And TCU has no players from Wisconsin, so nobody's going to be scared of any BYU players.
I kind of want to play TCU.
Ain't nobody scared of the Mormons.
Okay,
I kind of want to play TCU money line.
I don't hate. I mean, do you? That's the things that you do, and you hit some of them. So do what you got to do. But I do agree with TCU in the points here. First and foremost, this is a significant step up in competition for BYU over the last month and change. I mean, the last time they played a competent basketball team was December 9th against Clemson. They won that game by 4. That was on a neutral. Obviously, their only loss was to UConn. But as Trevor would tell you, I mean, Wisconsin is terrible. And they played them on the Barney court. So, I mean, do you really give them credit for beating Wisconsin if they're so bad? I don't know. The Miami just continues to win. So maybe they're a little bit better than we thought they were. Maybe that's actually turns out to be actually a pretty decent win. But besides that, I mean, again, BYU has been winning a lot of games, but I mean, they haven't been covering. I mean, they wouldn't have, I mean, I guess this 9 is at 12.5 now. So, but I mean, call it 13, which I'm assuming it will be in the morning. That would have had them covering against Kansas State, or BYU wouldn't have covered against Kansas State. They wouldn't have covered against Utah either. And now you're playing a TCU team that's been there and done that. And I agree that on the road is a little bit different, but I mean, losses that at home to Michigan, again, obviously that game was at home, but I mean, the losses don't really bother me that much. They've played a couple games on a neutral. I mean, they beat Florida on a neutral, which is probably a pretty damn good win. They beat Wisconsin. Again, we just talked about it. Wisconsin's not that great, but yes, they don't have a signature road win, but I feel like this team has been tested in multiple opportunities this year and hasn't been terrible. I mean, yes, they pissed that game away against Kansas, but maybe we were just wrong about Kansas in the fog, and maybe it has just a little bit of lore left because the last couple of games that played in there, Kansas looks unbelievable. So I just think it's a lot of points for the BYU team that's like at the top of its market value right now, personally. So it would only be TCU. I'm going to wait on it a little bit to see if I can get a full 13 or better.
I just bet it. Want to know what number I got on the money line? Plus 660. Plus 660. Who are they playing? The Lakers? What the hell? Like plus 660? What? How is it plus 660? This TCU team played Michigan down to the wire. They played Kansas in the fog down to the wire, who we've just seen isn't nearly as bad as we thought. They beat Baylor. Plus 660? It's like they're pricing TCU like a Mac program. And what do you got? Oh, go ahead.
I feel like with these big dogs in college basketball, especially on the money line price itself, I feel like that money line price creeps up. Even if the line itself still stays 12.5, the calculation on the money line starts to change, and you get better prices towards open.
Well, we'll see. I got plus 660. We'll see if your theory's correct.
Debanza also a very turnover prone guy, and TCU can force a lot of turnovers. So, maybe that works into their favor too.
Real quick.
Go for it. My bad.
Well, rapid fire. The guy, I kind of yelled at him. He asked about South Carolina a bunch of the times. So rapid fire. South Carolina, Arkansas. You guys
women's basketball?
Oh,
No,
is he? No, there. Is it a women's game?
No, they play tomorrow. He's
Oh.
good.
They do? Oh, I missed
Yeah.
that. I didn't see it on the board.
Oh, so Toast. Any lean there?
It would only be Arkansas for me. South Carolina on the road. I'm not really in love with, but I mean, at the same time, I think this Arkansas team is a lot better than people give them credit for. The Auburn loss was just weird, but I mean, their other two losses are three is Houston, Duke, and Michigan State. I mean, I think this is a type of a get right spot for them, but yeah, it would only be Arkansas for me.
Spoon, any quick thoughts on this one? Or
I agree with Toast there. I like Arkansas here. South Carolina just lost to Georgia at home. Maybe it's a little bit of a bounce back spot, but I like Arkansas's roster better than Georgia's at this point, and I think they can get them.
it sounded like TV Jones was about to give a bonus pick or two.
Hogs. Yeah, I just had 2 quick questions run by you guys. Georgia Tech pick them at home against Pittsburgh. How nasty do you want to get? I kind of
No, I'm not taking Georgia Tech. I followed you down that path.
No. I had that game checked. I thought I have Georgia Tech money line as well. I took the minus 105. Let's go, TV Jones.
I saw that line. I was like, Georgia Tech's winning this game.
You told me that before, and I took Georgia Tech and I watched the game.
I can't control injuries. They lost their big Ben.
They
in the
did
first
lose.
half.
They took like 2 centers in the first 10 minutes, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was brutal. And then Penn State's 3.5-point dogs to who the hell are they playing tomorrow? UCLA at Penn State, 3.5-point dogs. I want to take Penn State money line.
Maybe Georgia Tech.
They've been feisty.
Not
They've
Penn
been
State.
feisty.
You take Penn State when you're catching 14 and a half, not 3.5.
It's telling you.
I honestly,
All right. You guys have a good
One
night.
last bonus pick, Patriot League, Boston University. Lehigh is coming off a win versus Colgate as a double-digit dog. They're now playing Boston University. It's a pick'em. I think BU is the better team. So much extra value baked in after that win versus the best team in the conference in Colgate. So fade Lehigh tomorrow. I think that's one of the better picks on the board.
Someone asked us. Someone asked the Spoon of a juice reel. I don't think so, but he tweets out all of his bets every single day. He tweets a list of like all his Twitter's right on the screen there. He tweets out like a big list of all his stuff every day. Cool. All right, I'm going to talk some NBA. You guys enjoy your night.
See you guys.
All right. Raptors Pacers. I just had this poll up and accidentally ended it, so I got to retape the poll. All right, so tough one here. So the Pacers. Oh, let me get my graphics up. I don't even have my. Oh, I do have my graphics ready. There we go. So Raptors. Let me just make sure there's been no update here. Refresh the page. Yeah, no RJ Barrett here. No Pirtle. No Walker. Walter. I'm sorry. And Mamashvili is also just added to the injury report, listed as questionable. That's the current injury situation with Toronto. We just saw this Raptors offense look so bad in those last 2 games against the Sixers, and that's kind of a repeating pattern with Toronto. I have a graphic that shows it in a second. So we just saw the Raptors play 2 games. RJ Barrett got hurt. They played 2 games without RJ Barrett. They couldn't score. They actually won one of those games in overtime, but the offense looked bad in both of them. So you might be thinking, well, Kyle, who cares? They're playing the Pacers. And I hear you, but out of nowhere, after losing 13 games in a row, the Pacers are starting to play some defense. They've won 3 in a row. They're 3-0 straight up, 3-0 against the spread in their last 3 games with a defensive efficiency rating of 102. They're protecting the offensive glass, effective field goal percentage up close to 49%. That's 49% allowed. These are defensive stats. The Pacers have played 3 great defensive games in a row. They're 3-0 against the spread, 3-0 straight up. So the Raptors with no RJ Barrett against a Pacers defense that seems to be surging. As far as Indiana, same injury report that we've seen the last few. I think Mathurin is getting close to returning, but I don't think he's going to be back for this one. No Isaiah Jackson, no Obi Toppin, no Halliburton, obviously. Here's the thing. The Pacers have been playing good defense the last 3 games. What is the strength of this Pacers defense? It's the perimeter. The only thing the Pacers have done well this year is defend the 3-point shot. It's the only thing they're good at. They put pressure on the perimeter. They don't let you get your threes off. Well, we're just pointing out the Pacers played 3 good defensive games in a row. 2 of those games were against the Hornets and the Celtics. 2 of the most 3-point shooting offenses in the NBA. So, yes, they played 3 good defensive games in a row. 2 of those games were against teams that's a really easy matchup for them. The Pacers defense is a tough matchup for 3-point shooting offenses. That's not the Raptors. The Raptors are an offense that attacks the interior. Now, we have seen the Raptors shoot a bit more threes recently, but this is still not a 3-point shooting offense. So I don't know if I'm buying into the Pacers defensive surge here when they play a team that attacks the paint. Here's the problem. How can we trust Toronto's offense without RJ Barrett? It's not just 2 games that we pointed out before. On the season, with RJ Barrett, they're 16-7, 13-10 against the spread. Without RJ Barrett, they're 8-10, 6-12 against the spread. Look at the offensive efficiency with and without RJ Barrett. A 118.7 with him, a 107.3 without him. RJ Barrett, now, is that all because of RJ Barrett? Who knows? But this is pretty significant. These are pretty significant splits here. The average offensive efficiency rating in the NBA is about 114.5, 114.7. So with RJ Barrett on the floor, the Raptors have been significantly above average offensively. Without RJ Barrett, they're terrible offensively. So I really don't know what to do here. I don't trust the Raptors offense, but the Pacers defense can't protect the rim. So maybe they could score. And on the other side of the ball, I don't think I trust the Pacers to score. That offense has been inconsistent, they're pretty awful all year. On the full season, they're the worst offense in the NBA. Raptors defense has been pretty solid with or without RJ Barrett. So I think both teams are going to struggle to score. And that's another thing without RJ Barrett. Look at the pace. Without RJ Barrett, 97.3 possessions per game. That's slow. So they also have run a much slower pace in the games without RJ Barrett. So the way I would go with this one is under. The number's gone, though. When I was first looking at this one, there was 224.5. Unfortunately, is there still a 224.5 right now? Hold that thought. When I looked before, it was all 222.5. 223.5. I'll put under up. There we go, under a pass. Yeah, if you could get 224.5, I'm cool with it, but I missed it. It's mostly 222.5 now. Cleveland, Philly. I do not understand this line. And this feels like today. Honestly, both of my NBA bets were bad bets today. I almost won the Suns one, but the late sharp money came in against me on both bets. Late action came in on the Miami Heat, and I was on the Suns. Late action came in on the Timberwolves, and I was on the Bucks. So that's doesn't exactly fill me with confidence that sharp bettors had both of those games right, and I was on the other side of both. And not necessarily that I was on the wrong side of that, because that happens. It's more so I don't really understand it. Don't like that feeling. So this looks like another one where I may have placed a bad bet. I think it's a good bet, and there's still plenty of time for this to move. I'm on the Sixers money line here. I got a minus 118. And if I had a guess, you could still get that. You might even be able to get better than that right now, because it was at minus 1.5. It's kind of at minus 1. So I bet you can get an even better number than I did. See, this says minus 108. So you can probably get an even better number than I did. So I'm on the Sixers money line here. I really like the way Philadelphia is playing right now. They should be at full strength. Let me make sure there's been no injury updates in the last couple hours. Nope. So Sixers should be at full strength for this one. Against a Cavs team that's not at full strength. There's still no Max Strus, still no Dean Wade. This team is just so thin at wing. They're good at guard, right? Garland, Mitchell, Sam Merrill can play. They're good at big. They got Evan Mobley and Jared Allen, obviously. And then Thomas Bryant could even give you a few minutes. So they're good at guard. They're good at big. They just have no wing right now. The wing that they would really like to have is DeAndre Hunter. He's not playing well, and there's even rumors circulating that he wants to be traded. I have no idea if that's true or not. Don't say like Kyle Kirms told me that DeAndre Hunter. I'm just saying I heard that. And if you search it on Twitter, you could probably find the same thing I did. So DeAndre Hunter's not playing well, and they kind of really need him to step up. They really need a wing right now. Jalen Tyson has been starting some of these games at the 3 for Cleveland. They're just so thin at that position, and they're on the road in Philadelphia against a Sixers team that's completely healthy. And it's the Sixers team that, in my opinion, is playing much better than people think. In the last 10 games, this team's a top 10 offensive team, a top 10 defensive team. They've also done this against the 6th strongest schedule in the NBA. Now, Cleveland can score. We know that. The defense has been up and down, mostly down recently. You look at their last 3 games, Cleveland 1-2 straight up, 1-2 against the spread, a 124.6 defensive efficiency rating. So in the last 3 games, we've seen below average to terrible defensive performances from Cleveland. I was trying to figure out why the market has Cleveland up here, because if you think about it, Philadelphia -1, that means on a neutral, it would be Cleveland -1, Cleveland -1.5. And I disagree with that. I would put Philly up by a half point on a neutral right now. I was thinking maybe the schedule, you got Philly returning from a road trip, but they're coming back from Toronto, man. For those of you that aren't from the Northeast, that's not a tough flight at all. Toronto's right there. So they're coming back from Toronto with a day to rest. And they're starting a long homestand. This is a really good opportunity. Bunch of games in a row. You got a bunch of Eastern Conference opponents here. Cleveland, Indiana, then the Knicks. You take 3 of those 4 games. You could shoot yourself up the standings here. I disagree with the market that Cleveland is a better team than the Sixers right now. Remember when early in the season, Philadelphia, they started off, I believe they went 0-4 with Embiid, Maxey, and Paul George on the court at the same time. And they were 0-4 in those games. Well, they're 5-1 in their last 6 with those guys on the court. Embiid's starting to resemble old school Embiid. He's playing well. Seems to be accepting the number 2 role behind Maxey on the offensive side of the ball. Philadelphia's 6-2 in their last 8. Yeah, I'm not loving the fact that the market seems to disagree with me here. I would love to wake up and see Philadelphia. I personally think this should be Philadelphia -2.5. That's what I would make the game. So I would love to wake up and see that tomorrow morning. I'm on Philly money line. Next game, Utah, Chicago. All right. Bulls, I think we're going to see Kobe White for this one. I believe the plan was to hold him out tonight. They just played in Houston earlier tonight. They purposely held him out for one of the legs of the back-to-back. So I think Kobe White's going to play. Not sure about Julian Phillips. I put him as questionable. But I think we're going to see Kobe White for this one. As far as the Jazz, we've been seeing their best fastball. We've been seeing the Jazz best lineup recently. No Kevin Love, but other than that, I think everyone's going to be good to go for the Jazz. Let me check to make sure there was no updates from a couple hours ago. Yeah, we're going to see the Jazz best fastball here. And this team's been playing a lot better than you think. You look at the defensive rating, full season 30th, last 10 games 30th, last 5 games 30th. Yes, it's a terrible defense. They've also played a very strong schedule. And one thing I got to say to Utah, so Will Hardy spoke about the defense. It was 4 games ago after they lost to Portland. And Will Hardy spoke about making some changes to address the defense. Now, we've since seen Utah make changes to their starting lineup. We saw Mikhailuk, I think that's how you say his name, Svi Mikhailuk, and Cody Williams put into the starting lineup for the Jazz over Ace Bailey and Bryce Sensabaugh. And look at this. Since that Portland loss where Will Hardy addressed everyone that talked about the defense and made changes to the starting lineup, we've seen the Jazz play 4 games. One of them, they rested a bunch of guys. So we've seen them play 3 healthy games since that press conference, since Will Hardy said that, and since he made the changes to the starting lineup. Defensive rating under 110. So since making the changes to the starting lineup, the Jazz have played some defense in the 3 games where they played everybody. 3-0 against the spread. Now, is that enough of a sample to be like, oh, yeah, we're good. Jazz defense is good now. We can trust it. No, I think that would be pretty psychotic to operate like that. But I do think if you're a Jazz fan, Your coach comes out, talks about the defense. He makes changes to the starting lineup, and your team immediately starts playing defense. I don't know. I think it's worth talking about. Since he said that, and since he made the changes in the starting lineup, 109.7, that would make you one of the best defenses in the NBA. They've been playing some defense. So, look, is it sustainable? I don't know. But we are talking about the Chicago Bulls without Giddey. And what we've seen, the Jazz, if you go back to this graphic, what have the Jazz done a great job? 78.3% defensive rebounding rate. They're protecting their defensive glass. The Bulls don't pose much of any threat at all on the offensive boards. And what have we seen from the Bulls in these back-to-backs? Look at their last four. The last 4 times we've seen the Bulls on the second leg of a back-to-back. 0-4 against the spread, 1-3 straight up, a 105 offensive rating. The last 4 times we've seen the Bulls play the second leg of a back-to-back, they were terrible offensively. It seems crazy to trust the Jazz defense at all. But I honestly think the Jazz can play some defense in this game. Now, do I have the stones to bet the Jazz at such a short number? No, not really. And another thing I don't like for the Jazz, I don't like the scheduling spot. You got this game on the road against Chicago, and then after that, you got 5 games in a row against Western Conference opponents that are all more important than this one. Now, the way the Jazz are operating, though, I don't think they're thinking about playoff seeding. They're probably just trying to build for the future. There was a 247.5 before. Are we taking under money here? We're taking under money. I might bet this right now. I can still get a 246.5. Can I get a 247.5? I kind of think that's crazy high. I think that total is based on how Utah was playing before the lineup changes. See what I can get. I can get a 246.5 on FanDuel. Let's go. I'm taking it. Looks like everything else has come down. I'm adding it. That's a big number, man. That's a big number. All right, Will Hardy. I'm trusting this newly found Jazz defense. Damn it, I should have taken the 247.5 earlier. I was looking at it. I was scared. I just bet it. Okay, so I just took this. I am on under 246.5. All right, let's move on. Nets Pelicans. I suppose we should talk about this. Brooklyn is taking some money, and I suspected. I kind of agree with the Brooklyn money coming in. Seems nuts to take the Nets as a road favorite. That seems like, how could you do that? But to me, it makes total sense. All right. Nets on the road at New Orleans. All right, so Nets are missing Zaire Williams. Other than that, they should be good to go. Let me just make sure there's no updates in that department. Yep. So, all right, so the Nets are in good shape here. Dialman's going to play. Point guard, he just rested. Cam Thomas, it looks like he's going to play. He might have a minutes restriction. Michael Porter Jr. was also rested recently on a back-to-back. He's good to go. It was a scheduled rest day. The Nets are actually 0-7 without Michael Porter Jr. in the lineup. So Michael Porter Jr. is going to play in this game. On the New Orleans side, I think there's a chance that Herb Jones does come back, but from what I'm reading, doesn't sound like it. So he is technically listed as questionable. I don't think we're going to see him in this game. I suppose we need to find out if is anyone sitting for New Orleans. They did just play a game. They just lost to the Nuggets, played them down to the wire too. So not only did they play a game, but it wasn't like a blowout game where they were just coasting in the fourth quarter. They were playing down to the last minute. So wondering if anybody sits for the Pelicans late in this one. In terms of just overall efficiency numbers, last 10 games, these two teams are pretty close. Nets slightly better. I know the Nets offense has kind of fallen off in the last 2 games, and this is what I was looking at. So the Nets are on a West Coast road trip right now. This is their 3rd game of a West Coast road trip, and here are their first 2 on this road trip. They're 0-2, 1-1 against the spread, offensive rating under 108. So they started this West Coast road trip, and the offense has been pretty bad in both games. But if you actually take a look at those two games, in the first one, Michael Porter Jr. didn't play. He rested, and we just talked about it. The Nets offense is so reliant on him, and they're 0-7 without him. So the first game of this West Coast road trip, they had no Michael Porter Jr., and in the second game, they rested Yeoman and Cam Thomas. So in the second game, they didn't have their point guard or arguably their best, well, maybe not their best scorer anymore, but one of their best offensive weapons. So, yes, the offenses look bad so far on this West Coast road trip. We haven't seen them at full strength at all. They were missing Michael Porter Jr., and then they were missing their point guard and Cam Thomas in the second one. So now they're going to be at full strength. And I know the Pelicans were competitive today, but let's not get it twisted. This team sucks. I'm just sorry, Pelicans fans. I didn't mean that. That was a little harsh. They're 1-10. Actually, they're 1-11 now, having just lost to Denver. 2-10 against the spread in their last 12. Yeah, I agree with the Brooklyn money. I didn't bet it. And if I'm taking the Nets on the road, I'm going to need to be catching 2.5. Laying 2.5 with the Nets on the road just feels kind of crazy. I'm saying 2.5. You can actually get a 1.5 right now. I'll put Nets money line up. I did consider it, so I don't think it's the craziest bet in the world. But where's my graphic? Of course, it's out of order. Why wouldn't it be in the correct order? There we go. Nets minus 1.5. I'll put that. And I don't think this is a crazy bet. I did consider it for a couple minutes, but didn't actually take it. I didn't really take a look at this one. You got obviously Denver on a back-to-back, and with their current injury situation, like who knows what combination of this we're going to see. Not only do they have significant injuries, but with a back-to-back, with you got guys dealing with injuries. Jamal Murray has been banged up recently. Is he going to play on a back-to-back? Aaron Gordon just came back from injury about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. Is he going to play on a back-to-back? Christian Brown didn't play last night. So trying to piece together. I'm sure if I spent some time, did some research, I could come up with a solid estimation on who would play here for Denver, but I didn't spend that time. I will say the Dallas Mavericks have some wild-looking home-away splits. In their last 10 road games, they're 0-10 against the spread. Blindly fading the Dallas Mavericks on the road is wild. 10 in a row you've hit. But meanwhile, at home, they're 7-1 straight up, 7-1 against the spread in their last 8. So the Mavericks have actually gotten their job done here at home. This line opened up. Wow, it opened up at like a pick. I was actually expecting Dallas to be laying minus 2.5. Damn, you can get a Dallas plus 1.5 now? Is there any injury updates I'm not seeing? Jamal Murray questionable. Oh, PJ. Okay. Nah. I did with Anthony Davis injury too. Yeah. Let's just skip. All right. Knicks Kings. So I guess our blind fades of the Knicks are in the past. That's over. We hit a few of those. It was nice. Well, as a Knicks fan, it wasn't nice, but for the account, it was certainly nice. Josh Hart's back. Josh Hart is back. He came back. He played in the Portland game. So without Josh Hart, the Knicks defense was terrible. They were pretty much a blind fade. Josh Hart is now back, and they finished the game strong on the road in Portland. I actually think I have the numbers from that game right here. Here's the first game we saw without Josh Hart. Played solid on both sides of the. This is their defensive numbers: a 114 defensive rating, an above-average defensive game. Something we haven't seen from the Knicks in the previous 8 without Josh Hart. They were terrible defensively. So Josh Hart comes back. The Knicks immediately plays a decent defensive game. They win and cover on the road in Portland. Now, does that mean we can just trust this defense now? I'm not sure. In terms of the Knicks offense, though, I don't think there's any reason to doubt the Knicks scoring points here on the road in Sacramento. First of all, the Kings defense is terrible. There's no Keegan Murray, no Sabonis. Remember, this is an injured Kings team. They're relying on veterans like Russell Westbrook, DeRozan, Zach LaVine. So this Kings defense is terrible, number one. Number two, listen to the defenses the Knicks have played recently. You've got the Spurs with Wembanyama. The Hawks have been much better defensively. The Sixers have been great defensively. The Pistons have been great defensively. The Clippers have been elite defensively. The Suns have been elite defensively. And Portland's even been pretty good defensively. The Knicks have played games exclusively against elite defenses recently. And they're still 6th in offensive efficiency in the last 10 games. The Knicks should have no problems whatsoever scoring points in this game. So it's just whether or not you think the Kings can keep up. I personally think with Josh Hart back, I saw a Jalen Brunson interview. I think the Knicks are going to run him right out of the building. Knicks by a lot. I didn't bet this one, but yeah, I think the Knicks absolutely kill him. One thing I will say, though, so Schroeder is suspended for the Kings, and Russell Westbrook has kind of taken over as the primary point guard. Kind of might have already been before, but in those 2 games we've seen since the Schroeder suspension, the Kings offense looked excellent. 129-1 offensive efficiency. I mean, I don't think that's sustainable, but... All right, last game on the board. Oh, I actually didn't get to this one, Wizards Clippers, so I'll put up a poll for it. But we're not going to see Trae Young. I'm not even sure how much Trae Young we're going to see this season for the Wizards. I mean, you got to keep in mind, I believe if their draft pick is further back than 8, then they lose it. So I think they have to finish. There's incentives involved in a trade they made, I believe, with the Knicks. And so they need their draft pick to be in the top 8 or they lose it. So I think it's in the Wizards' best interest to lose, to be honest, in terms of sustaining a draft pick. But yeah, I'll leave this poll up for a couple minutes, or for a couple seconds, I should say, and then we'll call it. Yeah, the Wizards. Kawhi Leonard questionable, Zubac's questionable. So the Clippers are a little bit banged up. Yeah, I have no idea. Didn't even look at it. Everyone, have a good night. Thanks for watching. See you all tomorrow.